What's up, everybody? Peter Ariz here alongside D Money, bringing you today's edition of Kane's Insight Daily. And we are now 2 days into fall practice here. Excited to get you guys all the information that we've got already. And of course, as always, the show is brought to you by our sponsors, Anajar and Levine. D, good afternoon. How you doing? And we're all excited about the first couple days of camp.
Yeah, I'm in Warwick, Rhode Island, the opposite of college football country right now, but excited to get down. I'll be at practice on Tuesday. You've been holding down the Fort Pete. We're going to have your exclusive thoughts on your observations through the first 2 days of practice. Excited to get to that. And got a couple interviews, right? Jordan Lyle, Romanus Frederick, OJ Frederick, two of the guys that I heard the most about from team sources during workouts, saying, hey, these two guys look ready to rock and roll. You could see them this year in 2024. So excited to see your interviews with those guys. Just a loaded show today. You mentioned Anajar and Levine. If you or anyone that you care about has been injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation. 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Take back control of your life with Anajar and Levine. They don't get paid until you get paid. And we got some interesting announcements here. Very, very fun announcements. Excited. We got a lot of announcements coming. So I'm going to give you the announcements first, and then we're getting into Pete's exclusive practice insight, and of course, the interviews with the two great student athletes we're excited about. First, August 7th. Stay tuned. Major Kane's Insight news coming on that date. So you guys want to be liked and subscribed and ready for August 7th. I promise you'll be worth the wait. Also, excited to announce a new partnership. We are with the Miami Hurricane team store, the official team store of Miami Athletics. You want to get premium Canes gear and at the same time support the program that you care about, support Miami Athletics directly. The Miami Hurricane team store, it is located at Thesis Hotel right across the street from campus. So if you live close to the University of Miami, it is right there in front, literally across the street facing the school. Look at some of the products they just got, the new slides. $40. Look at these things. Orange, beautiful. Miami Alpha Bounce Slide 2.0. JoJo Schrader was rocking those. They got the website's great, Miami HTS, HTS.com. So it's MiamiHurricaneTeamStore.com. See JoJo Schrader got all the players there modeling the stuff. That shows you how close the Miami Hurricane team store is to the university. All Samson rocking the summer gear, the Hawaiian shirts, and the hats. If you want to support Miami Athletics while also getting premium Canes gear, Miami HTS Hurricane Team Store, MiamiHTS.com, and then the Hurricane Team Store physical form right across the street from school at the Thesis Hotel. Getting excited to do a lot of stuff. We'll be doing events there, signings, you name it. We'll be at the Miami Hurricane Team Store, MiamiHTS.com. Also, Kane's Connection. Those of you who are members of Miami's official NIL Collective, thank you for being part of it. You guys are part of why this class is rolling so strong. Jamie French, Yossi Epinesa, Bryce Fitzgerald, some big names coming off the board potentially in August. Everybody's support of Kane's Connection, Miami's official NIL Collective, gives us a great chance to finish strong with those three names. So again, thank you everybody who's part of it. If you're not part of it, no better time than now to directly affect that sixth championship. When they hold up that trophy for that sixth ring, you guys who have been supporting Kane's Connection are part of that, and it directly impacted that result. So jump on board. New deal. It is $1 for your first month, no matter what price point you're at. $1 only for the first month of Kane's Connection subscription starting today. Use the link in our description. That is Kane's Connection /CIS. No more promo codes needed. All you got to do is use the link in the description. You'll be supporting the team. You will be supporting that sixth championship, and you're making us look good, which we always appreciate here at Kane's Insight, all you loyal supporters of us. So again, the link's in the bio, links on the website. That one's direct to canesconnection.com/CIS. Please use that. And you get access to a private Zoom, which I'll be doing with all the latest on a regular basis. I've been doing it with all the latest non-public insider info on the Canes, straight from the sources. Again, Miami Hurricane Team Store, MiamiHTS.com, Kane's Connection. This is all part of what we're trying to do here. Push this program forward. You get to get your best info. You get the premium gear, and you're supporting the Canes at the same time. So we're trying to bring it in tight, like Cristobal said in the opening press conference, and we're doing our part here at CanesInsight.com. So a lot of announcements and one big one to come on August 7th, but I want to get them out of the way before we dive into Peter's exclusive analysis of the first 2 days of practice and the great student-athlete interviews on the way.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff we'll talk about. I've been doing these parking lot Pete. He's back. My post practice reports from the car outside of Green Tree, the indoor practice facility. Literally, as soon as the media sessions end, the 25 minutes or so that we get in there, I just go right to my car, and I go straight off the notes that I'm writing right there. So it's as raw and as fresh as you're going to get it. I've been going live, so if you haven't checked those videos out, you can do that. And look, there's in these media sessions, there's limited, we're not seeing too many, we're not seeing the real thing, right? It's a lot of it's just individual work and then 7-on-7 after that. But you get a good idea, especially since I had a chance to go out there during spring as well, see which guys obviously weren't there in spring, see different body types, see who's put on some good weight and chiseled up the body, things of that nature in that time span. So it's been interesting being out there, and always gets the juices flowing, getting ready for the season.
Yeah, Pete, look, I'm a big believer in first impressions from a physical standpoint. Obviously, got to see these guys play football, but I think in the first 2 days, you can kind of see guys that look different, guys that move different, guys that comport themselves differently, particularly freshmen, and sometimes even guys coming back after a good offseason like Isaiah Horton in spring. So, who are some of the guys, Pete, that have jumped out to you? Again, this is not full contact. This is very early. You're not watching the whole practice, but from what you've seen, guys that are making a big impression on you physically.
Well, right off the bat, and it was my first note yesterday, was Tyler Barron as a guy on the defensive line who he's the second biggest guy out there. Anthony Campbell has him there, but man, you're talking about a guy who definitely looks the part. I don't think there was a question about that coming in with him, but it's nice to lay your eyes on it and really see, like, look, we're excited about these young guys, the Lightfoots of the world, the Booker Pickett's of the world, and I think they will have roles as the season goes on. But you see what it's supposed to look like once they're fully evolved, so to speak, and have that real weight on them, right? So you look at Tyler Barron, and everyone's excited about Ruben Bain. I've been singing the praises of Akeem Mesidor, kind of saying he's a bit of a forgotten man in a lot of these moves that have happened on the defensive line. But Tyler Barron, we have no reason to believe he's not healthy, obviously, because Miami took him with a shoulder situation. He's out there practicing 100%. But if he is fully healthy for this season, I think he is in for, an all ACC type of campaign, and someone who has the ability to be an All-American type here at Miami.
Wow. That's a veteran who's standing out. I'm a big believer, again, first impressions of the young guys, right? I remember Njoku when he first got on campus as a 3-star. I made a post on CanesInSight saying, hey, keep an eye on this dude. I know he's not a big recruit, but man, he looks different. Clive Walford, another one. I remember when he first came on, no one was really talking about him. But after the first practice, I made a post saying, look, this guy moves different. It's not like it takes a super scout to see. Some guys just look different, and you don't know from looking at a recruiting profile, even a huddle video. You got to see it with the other players around. So who are some young guys that stand out to you?
Jordan Lyle, for sure, and that's someone that you've been talking about big time over the last couple, I want to say month plus, right? As someone who was impressing during workouts, and we had a chance to talk to him. Obviously, we'll have this interview after we finish our piece here. That the interview with him, but I think he's definitely a guy that's standing out physically. A guy that has impressed me, who was here during the spring, but Judd Anderson, I think continues to show some really good things in terms of like his athletic ability for being that size. And look, we don't expect him to play this year, but I think you really have something there to work with. I really think you have a nice piece of clay to mold there if you're Shannon Dawson. Justin Scott, I mentioned him today in my notes as someone who I think he needs to continue to beef up, and at that position as an interior defensive lineman, it's tough for those guys sometimes to be immediate impact players, but he's someone who athletically, just going through the movement, the agility drills early in practice, you see why he was a top 10 player in the country there at his position. I think you look at the linebackers, which again, Bobby Pruitt, who was here during spring, and Darius Hayes, they're just guys that they just look different in terms of their length, their size, and the movement ability. I mean, that stuff to me really sticks out when they're going through a lot of this individual work.
How about some of the receivers, just move it around, catching your eye?
Well, if we're going to start it with a young guy, I mean, JoJo Trader. Look, JoJo's an interesting one, D, because I don't think he's a guy that's running high 4.3s, low 4.4s. He's not going to be the biggest receiver in the world either. Obviously, was a high 4-star recruit, one of the most highly rated receivers in the country, but obviously was a little bit overshined by, or overshadowed, I should say, by Jeremiah Smith, because he was the top player in the country. But he's a guy to me who, his body control is special, man. He had a really, really nice catch on the sidelines today on a beautiful back shoulder throw by Judd Anderson. But it was a place where only he could catch it, but JoJo had to make an adjustment to it and kind of slide down to the ground to make it. He had another play yesterday where the ball was floating on him. I don't know I forget who the quarterback was. And again, this was 7-on-7 work, so it's not as physical as it's going to be in a few days here when they get it in full pads. But he floated up and tried to make a catch with a one-handed catch. The ball flew over his head, but it almost looked like he was levitating. And again, when I say body control, a lot of times these young receivers, they can run. That when they have the ball in their hands, that you see them trying to make people miss and things like that. But they don't really know how to slow their bodies down, and at the catch point, do what you're supposed to do, right? Sometimes they just get a little bit excited, I'll say, to try to make the play and get upfield. He really seems like, from that standpoint, he knows how to control his body, and I think that's going to get him on the field this year.
Yeah, it's funny. I remember when Michael Jordan was coming up, everyone would always say, well, it's his vertical, right? And it was not just the vertical, it was the body control in the air and the big hands and things that allowed him to seem like he's floating. I'm not saying JoJo Trader's Jordan. I always have to do these disclaimers because people go crazy, but it's an athletic trait that I think gets under discussed when you talk about, vert's one thing, but the ability to control your body in the air is a whole nother, and he's got that.
Yeah, and then just sticking with receiver a little bit, D, I think it's an interesting position because we're all excited about the top, what we think are the top three guys in Xavier Estrepo, Jacoby George, and Sam Brown coming in, right? But you have a bunch of guys fighting for these spots, right? The Ray Josephs of the world, the Robbie Washingtons, who he had a nice deep post touchdown today in the 7-on-7 period. And I know he was coming on big time at the end of spring. Talked to him the other day, and just knowing some people around him and knowing his situation in high school and all that, I think he's really grown up, man. He's always been the man, right? He's always been the best player on his team, essentially, and that's an adjustment for guys coming in. They're not the man anymore. They have to kind of understand that they're one of many talented players in that room. And I think, again, talking to him the other day, talking to some other people around him, I think he's made that step mentally where he's in a real position. And again, I keep going back to this, but Coach Criswell said at the end of spring, he was a guy who he felt was ready to help this team win games. So you have those two. Shamar Kirk is one that, just going through the individual drills, looks very polished. I was watching Coach Beard today, and he was getting on Ray about some little things, right? Ray ended up getting it. He was getting on Isaiah Horton. But it's almost like he doesn't worry about Shamar Kirk because he has the fundamentals down. He's older than those guys, right? He's played JUCO and has now been here for a couple of years now. But you have an interesting group of receivers there who are going to be fighting for time there behind the top three, because again, there's one football and there's a lot of guys out there. There's only one ball to go around, right? So we're talking about a lot of these guys, and just the reality is that there's going to be some of them who don't get the snaps or aren't getting the touches. So this is going to be very interesting to see how these guys separate themselves over the next few weeks here.
Yeah, I'll give you some time to pull up this OJ Frederick pick. So OJ Frederick is somebody who I've been talking about all off season. I've been hearing that he's looking really good in workouts. Coach Guidry on media day specifically mentioned Frederick. We had that whole article from Guidry for free on CanesInsight.com. And there you see a picture of him getting an interception yesterday posted on Instagram. So this guy's making some noise. Converted wide receiver, originally from Deerfield Beach, went to St. Thomas Aquinas, played still some receiver at St. Thomas, returned kicks, and played DB. Unusual versatility for a school like St. Thomas that has studs at all of those spots. So he's a unique athlete, looked real big when we saw him media day. And again, there you see the picture proof that he's already making plays here on Green Tree. And Jordan Lyle's another one, that's been getting all that kind of hype, both St. Thomas guys. So we're going to have interviews with OJ Frederick and Jordan Lyle, exclusive interviews, one-on-one with
OJ Frederick, not
say?
JoJo Frederick. You said JoJo.
I'm only getting older.
Listen, you've taken too many vacations this summer, man. I think that's what it is. You're getting lazy on us.
First of all, we work every day of vacation, number one. Number two, if it was up to me, I'd be in Miami on Green Street every day of the week. It's a family kind of situation here, but we're still working. We're still giving it to you. Exclusive interviews with OJ Frederick, Jordan Lyle. Again, appreciate everybody. Like and subscribe. CanesInsight.com. We got all this content for free, including a ton of interviews. I got multiple coaches, Matt Merritt, Coach Woodle. I got coming up soon, Elias Rudolph, Chris Ridley-Humphrey, Cam Pruitt, Bobby Pruitt. Just a ton of interviews, exclusive one-on-ones coming to Canes Insight over the next week, plus practice every single day, getting the latest from guys like Pete, and supplementing what you're getting here for free on the Canes Insight podcast. Like and subscribe. A lot of fun stuff. This is the best time of year. And August 7th, stay tuned, major announcement. But till then, let's leave you with two of the finest products of St. Thomas Aquinas, two of the jewels of this recruiting class, OJ Frederick, defensive back, and running back Jordan Lyle.
All right, I'm here with Canes freshman OJ Frederick, defensive back here out of South Florida, Deerfield Beach, St. Thomas Aquinas. OJ, talk to me about how your first few weeks here, month plus here, has gone at the University of Miami, obviously transitioning from the high school level.
Yes, sir. It's been great. The transition been great. I mean, I got bigger, stronger, faster, a better player, a better man. I like to think all the coaches. Yeah, that's how it's been. It's been great so far.
I mean, you see it already. It looks like you put some good weight on already. So talk about that. I mean, what are you at right now? What were you weighing when you first stepped on campus, and how much have you put on?
I think I put around 7 pounds. I was around 178, and I'm around 188 to 190. So yeah, the great program, weight room program is great here with Coach Feld and all the other staff members. They do a great job. So
talk about Coach Chavis Jackson. Obviously, comes in kind of late in the process here, and wasn't necessarily the guy who recruited you, but you've had a chance now to get with him a little bit, start building that relationship. So what has your impression been of him early on?
My impression of Coach Jackson was great. I mean, he's a great man. He's a great mentor, great coach. I mean, he taught me a whole bunch of things, how to be a better man, better DB. I'd like to thank him for that.
So you're coming in here with a few of your high school teammates. Obviously, Jordan Lyle, I spoke to him earlier, Ryan Mack as well. How much easier has that made the transition that you guys are all kind of doing it together and I guess pushing each other? Obviously, Jordan's on the other side of the ball, but holding each other accountable in this time of growth.
I mean, the transition was great from St. Thomas. St. Thomas did a great job preparing us, and having my teammates around me was great. I mean, we push each other every day, work hard, we do everything fast and physical, so that was great.
What are you looking forward to most here about camp?
Man, just trying to get better overall. Be a better DB, a better person, man. That's all I'm trying to do. Team overall, just be better.
So listen, you see these receivers up close. What are your impressions of that group as a whole? I know everyone's excited about that, the amount of talent that they have over there, a lot of experience as well. So what do you see from that group in your early battles with them?
I mean, we have a great receiver group. I mean, they could do everything on the route tree, everybody. So it's going to be a great year with them.
And then defensive backs room, obviously a lot of new faces there, some returning guys. But does it help having a guy like DP, right, who's from down here, who's a vet, to kind of look up to and help guide you here?
I mean, yes. I mean, DP and the older guys are great guys. I mean, they help us, they get us better, they train us, they tell us what we can do right and wrong. So.
What do you think about the freshman class, man? You got some of your guys back here behind me now. I mean, as a whole, how have you guys stepping on campus? Obviously, you're the young guys, but how have you guys tried to make an impression early on?
I mean, this freshman class is great. I mean, I think we're coming here ready to work, play fast and physical, do everything we can, try to get on the field. So.
And then obviously OJ, nickname, is it middle name or nickname? I mean, we got to get the story because Romanos, but we don't have Romanos up here. I don't know if you want to be called that, so I'll try to refrain from it. But OJ, talk about where the nickname comes from.
Okay, OJ. Originally, they used to call my dad that. So me being around my dad a lot, they called me it. And
So you're OJJ.
yeah. Yeah, that's it.
All right, OJ Frederick, man, excited about your future here at Miami. Appreciate the time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, I'm here with freshman running back Jordan Lyle out of St. Thomas Aquinas. Jordan, how you doing, man? Appreciate you doing this, and congrats on your first media day here. Talk a little about your transition onto campus here. Obviously, you're a local guy. Has that made it a little easier for you? And just talk about what your first, month or so has been here like at Miami. I'll hold it. Yeah.
It's been a smooth transition so far. Coach Harry and Coach Cristobal, they have the same type of things going on with the programs, and I feel like it was a smooth transition here.
Man, ever since you got on campus, everyone was kind of buzzing about seeing pictures of you. You look ready to go right off the bat. What's your weight at right now? And talk about how you kind of got physically ready for your freshman season. Obviously, I know you've been here with the strength and conditioning coaches, but it seems like you came ready to roll.
Yeah, right now I'm sitting around 200, and that's where they really want me at right now for the season. I'm not sure if they want me to go higher a little bit. That's all I've heard was 200 so far.
And obviously this backfield, it's pretty loaded, right? So talk about that group as a whole, your early impressions of them, and how excited you are to be a part of it.
I'm a young guy coming in, so I want to learn from people like Mark Fletcher and Damian Martinez and AJ Allen. So I'm just taking it all in, taking in the opportunity, learning from these older guys and applying everything that they say into my game. Having people like Martinez coming in right now, and playing in a different conference, it's helping me out with my game also.
Coach Merritt obviously came in kind of later here, and just talk a little bit about your impressions of him and the relationships you've already started to build with him.
Coach Merritt, he's a great coach. Also Coach Dub. Both of them are great coaches. They're real down to earth. They know a lot about the game, and especially about the running back position. So I'm thankful, and I'm learning from them.
I'm gonna ask this to most of the guys out here today, but you're not in the NCAA game yet. Will you be there? Did you opt in late? I mean, give us the details. Did you just decide not to do it?
I opted in late, like really late. Like maybe like I opted in as soon as the game came out. I didn't know what you were supposed to do because I wasn't here at the time. But once I figured out what I was supposed to do, I opted in the game.
Listen, the fans are excited to see you in there. What do you think your rating should be? And listen, some guys say they might want to up their ratings themselves, but are you gonna let it ride with whatever they give you?
I need to up my rating, but I think my rating is probably gonna be I think I should start out like at least a 73, least 73. But it needs to hit at least an 80 by next year.
Well, listen, once you get to year 2, year 3, you know that off-season development happens, so you should be there no problem.
Yeah, it should be a 90 by year 2.
Jordan Lyle, appreciate your time.
Thank you.